there were lots of houses up here that had rainfall catchments, very large storage areas. So rainfall becomes a very important resource. So we built 3 rainfall catchments.
So how many feet of water you have in here? How many gallons you got in this?
This is half full. This is 1,200 gallon tank. I'd say about 600 gallons.
600 gallons.
We have basically shown that you can capture water from rainfall, you can store it, it's good quality water, and the beauty of it is that what we then did was that we attached a drip irrigation system to these rainfall catchments, and we planted 800 plants.
What we have here is a number of native plants. This is a kuli, Pohina here. This is one that was suggested to us for flow areas because it doesn't lay down and accelerate the flow of the water. There's aki grass, Hawaiian cotton. It's Lipidium. It's actually quite a rare plant. Paulihiaka.
Kaho'olawe is not a wasteland. It is an island that is waiting and responds to every effort to bring this land back.
Here at the 1,500-foot summit of Kaho'olawe is Mo'aula, the name of the mythical red bird of Polynesia, a name found throughout the Pacific. This vantage point provides a panoramic view of several other islands, Lanai, on a clear day Oahu, Molokai, Maui, and Hawaii. It is not surprising that this place was used by ancient kahuna as a school or halau for the training of young Hawaiians in astronomy and navigation.
And you can see the au, moku now. You know why, naole. When the naole moon phase, you look the currents, they go all different way. So you don't travel on this kind of current.
The reason why this point on the island was very good for purposes of astronomical observation and navigation is because from here you can get a view of all the major channels, and the islands are also natural landmarks for the rising of certain constellations that were important for the keeping of the calendar and for marking the rising of the sun on the solstices and the equinox periods.
This bellstone, carried up here in 2 parts and put back together on the north-south alignment, played an important part in the training.
For Maka, star, sun, moon, where they rise, they mark, yeah, on top this pohaku.
One of the observations probably noted from here was the rising of the cluster of stars known as the Makali'i, or small-eyed net. When this rising occurred right at sunset, during the month known as October, it marked the beginning of the Makahiki, a celebration of the season of Lono, god of peace, agricultural fertility, and rain. Traditionally, Makahiki was a 4-month period of time when all war was prohibited and goodwill prevailed, when the land is softened by rains in preparation for the new planting season. The year's harvest is gathered at this time as a tribute to the gods.
The Aina is the basis of our religion. And in order to have that kind of harmony with the land or the Aina, you have to ka'ai, or you have to give it offering, you have to feed it. You have to address the gods and address the spirits that are around you to help you along the way. Lono was a god that was a catalyst out of the 3 deities, Ku, Kani, and Lono. He was a catalyst in that he brought on the weather. He made things grow. He was the fruit of all harvests. The offerings that were given up to the god Lono was kalo, which was the staff of life, red fish, ualawa cane. There was also ulu, and the pua'a was put right in the middle. The offerings were the vegetable and animal manifestation of the god Lono.
Everybody brings something for offering the makahiki. And Big Island, we bring the vel, we bring ava, and Molokai brings their sweet potato, their oalas, and Maui, their bananas, and even the water comes from, that goes in, the ipu of Lono comes from Kauai. So we bring what we can, and we wrap it over there. We prepare it on Kaho'olawe for the whole kupu, for Lono. His kino laos.
Mahakiwa wailohi ai kapu. Aina ho'okupu makahale o papa me kahale mua. Ma moa ula ilohi ai kapu. Aina ho'okupu makalele luna. And what it talks about is the different ho'okupus, the different offerings that we give on all of these places here on the island of Kaho'olawe. We have the hale mua, the men's heiau, on the opposite side of this valley, and we have hale papa here. On the top over here we have moa ula, which is the highest altar. On top of the lele, that's where we put our offerings for Lono, in this case because we're asking Lono during the makahiki season to bring the rain so that the island may be green.
When we visit Kaho'olawe for makahiki, everybody puts their mind and thought together and come as close as possible to all the elements, which is the season of Lono, and that is why we celebrate Lono Ika Makahiki. Everything that we do here for makahiki starts off with ceremony and prayer and a puli, and not a Christian prayer. It's just a basic Hawaiian prayer. Because we are of Hawaiian blood, we inherit the soul of our kupuna. And everything that we do here is to perpetuate for our kamali'i and their kamali'i, and for each generation to come.
So the pool would be calling, still calling all the people like, Ele mai, como mai. For them, the kapu has been lifted, right? Everybody is one, everybody is equal. Nobody is higher than the other. And that's the one time everybody looks forward to. And that's when the fires are lit. And all the people just jump in the water, man, and the party begins.
That's right on.
Makahiki, and everybody just jump. The whole day is filled with all the people, and they're all jumping in the water and playing. The people are living it, you know, and as you hear the noise and the fire, that's the blessings. The blessings is here.
It's ready to eat. You hungry? Everybody can have more than two now.
Because the rest already has been lit in the imus, which is ready for the kaukau, for all the people for party. All right? And so the pahu begins, and the hulas and the melees.
During the 1987 Makahiki, the Ohana dedicated a new dance platform, or pa'ahula, at the Haki'owawa camp.
And when we visit this special Aina, we give thanks. Everything we do, we always give thanks, because without the Aina, we cannot survive, because we come from the Aina as Native Hawaiians. And so we start from grassroots. We don't start from the power of government or from the power of money. We start from the love, the na'au.
The main chant was that she was naming this Pahula Ka'i'e, so she is giving it its name, so that is the name. Now it is Noah. Now you can use it. Welcome to Kaho'olawe.
Better than the marijuana. Better than the marijuana. Me a kid for an hour. You know that? Better than the marijuana.
The end of Kaho'olawe's Makahiki season is celebrated in January with a procession across the entire island.
After we did the ceremonies up on Mo'ula, came down and ALOHA passed the Lono image to me, so we carried it the rest of the way down here in front of the procession. And it's Lono reclaiming the land.
Auntie Edith Kanaka'ole called our members on Hawaii the Kihapai Olono, the keepers of the garden of Lono. She saw for us the need to call upon him so that we might be able to revitalize those practices, those religious practices to him.
But I think the ceremony is the whole process. From when you wake up in the morning because you sleep last night with that thought in your mind. So right then, you know, the spiritualness of all that starting already. You know, a ceremony is specific, but the religious significance is ongoing. You know, not just doing ceremonies. So I started a ceremony when the mind wanted to go move. The ceremony is on. And then the ceremony stops when I die.
Ewahi mai e lono, ewahi o luna, ewahi o lalo, ewahi kauka, ewahi ke kai. Ewahi mai e lono, ewahi o luna, ewahi o lalo. That's asking for the rains of Lono to come. From above, from below, from the mountains, from the sea.
Our canoe name is the Kealii Kahiki, which is a core canoe, which is named after this channel right out here, that with the va, with all the hokupu on it, is sent off back to Tahiti.
And we paddle out to say about a mile out of Kealakaiki Point and set the small canoe adrift into the currents that will take it out to Kaiki. It makes everything complete, like when you set the canoe and sit there for a while and just watch it drift with the currents out, you know, out to the ocean. And as far as the religious part of it, I feel like I'm more comfortable in the outdoors than being in a church like this would be my church. That makes it even better.
We're just here to close the Makahiki season today. The feeling is really good. It came out really good this year. And I think the gods was happy.
I think today is a real new age for Hawaiians, young and even old, wanting to go back to their roots, wanting to get to understand their genealogy, knowing that they're descendant from the gods as well as the chiefs as intermediaries. Just being here on the island is actually a religious ceremony for a lot of us. Hawaiian religion is a sovereign claim. It's the only claim for Native Hawaiians that have been addressed yet.
I guess, well, to me, everything ties in back to sovereignty again, you know, my right to decide where I like go, how come, and, you know, how you using our resources. Kaho'olawe is a resource, you know, it's a mother. Whatever the priority was first was stop the bombing. And the second first was reoccupation. And that's what, in the future, I'd like to see Kanakas living there, you know, living there. Ooh, that would be nice. I wouldn't mind, you know.
The sheep there. Kaho'olawe is a place that will always teach, you know. That place should be used for education and feeling about a piece of land that the Hawaiians can say what they want on it, practice what they feel spiritually on it. You know, share with each other on it. You know, all the values that we all had, we still got.
And we see that Kaho'olawe wants to live. It wants to be populated. It wants to have people living here. It wants to have people enjoying themselves. It wants to have people around. It doesn't want to be by itself. It doesn't want to be an outcast amongst all the other islands and be called the island of death or any of these other labels that people tend to give it. It wants to be an island just like every other island, populated and have a chance to grow and to support its people. And this island is willing and ready to support us if we give it a chance to.
Maybe someday you'll go back to those days of old, when you were beautiful in silver and gold. And I've hung my head in prayers and cried out your name. Kaho'olawe, I feel your pain. Kaho'olawe, I feel your pain. Kaho'olawe, I feel your pain.
On October 22nd, 1990, Marine jets scheduled to make a bombing run on Kaho'olawe were grounded. That was the historic day when President Bush issued a directive to stop all weapons delivery training on Kaho'olawe. On November 8, 1990, a measure drafted by United States Senators Akaka and Inouye was signed into law, stopping all United States and foreign bombing of Kaho'olawe.
The bombing continued to start. All hell broke loose.
Congress established a commission to study and recommend terms and conditions for returning Kaho'olawe to the people of Hawaii.
You know, the return of this island to the people of Hawaii is an issue of universal appeal. If there's been some talk about uniting Hawaiians or uniting Hawaii, this issue has done it. This is a very important native Hawaiian issue, but it is an issue which has garnered the support of all levels of Hawaii's population and Hawaii's government.
Combined arms training is essential to naval and Marine Corps capability, and there is no reasonable alternative to Kaho'olawe to conduct this training in the mid-Pacific area.
If the military is allowed to continue operations, there are thousands of people from all over the world, including myself, who are willing to put their lives on the line and occupy the island.
Marines, if we can't train on Kaho'olawe, we're going to have to train someplace else. Marines are not going to send youngsters. I respect that, but my point is this. It is very, very, very difficult for a military man to look a 19-year-old in the eye and say, hey, pal, we're going to send you in harm's way, but, gee, I'm sorry we didn't get a chance to train you up for it. You can't do it. It's immoral. Well, we are doing that, we think. We're working for peace.
The U.S. military speaks the language of peace through strength, peace through combat readiness, peace through destruction. Like, if it bothers you, kill it. Native Hawaiians and their supporters speak the language of peace through practicing it.
Kaho'olawe is a very good air, sea, land training site.
Kaho'olawe is our home. We are not strangers there. Instead, within her wombs, we can find her beauty and a solemn place of refuge.
I thought that dancing hula and just reading books would make me feel like a Hawaiian, but it didn't until I went to Kaho'olawe. And so, instead of neglecting it, we as young people want to learn more so that we can pass it on to our children. And Kaho'olawe is a very significant part of our culture.
Now the Ohana can turn its full attention to the task of healing the Aina. The ordinance has to be removed. The cultural sites have to be stabilized. Soil erosion has to be stopped. Ground cover and trees need to be planted. The native birds need to be attracted back to the island, and the surrounding marine life needs to be protected. The Protect Kaho'olawe Ohana will continue to serve as stewards of the island, We intend to manage Kaho'olawe as a trust until the nation of Hawaii is recognized as a sovereign entity and jurisdiction can be turned over to the nation.
Kaho'olawe represents a conflict between life and death, peace and war, cultural perpetuation or forced assimilation. What will be its future? Whose vision will shine forth at Kohema Lama Lama?
By the governments and the people's will to restore beauty and love divine.